Good morning. How we doing? Welcome back to Alright, What's Next? Hey, you might notice I got a different colored freaking YouTube work shirt on. It's because my regular freaking YouTube work shirts are in the laundry and I didn't feel like digging them out. They're clean, I just haven't gotten them out of the fucking basket. It's too much work. So I got my regular work shirt on. I just improved it. Better logo. Video is not about my fucking personal attire. I got a new toy. It is the Elegoo Saturn S 3D resin printer. I've been wanting a 3D resin printer for fucking quite a while now. At least 3 to 4 months. Well, longer than that. But anyways, I didn't buy it. It was a gift. The youngest boy freaking got out of high school, and now he's got a fucking pretty good goddamn paying job. And he bought it for me. I helped him out building his freaking supercomputer, and then his supercomputer sprung a fucking leak because it was a custom water-cooled computer, and a hose clamp freaking came loose and sprayed water all over the inside of it and ruined the CPU and the motherboard and a couple other components. And I helped him freaking get his computer back up and running and did away with the custom water cooling, mind you. But he's like, I got money. Here's your 3D printer. And it's like, I was gonna start out with a little one like the Elegoo Mars, because I don't know shit about shit when it comes to fucking running these things. So now I got a pretty steep learning curve, because this is like a high-end, mid-size freaking printer. It's got a hell of a fucking build plate to it. I can print some good-sized freaking pieces. I can start making like fucking movie props and helmets and shit like that, and clutter the walls of my shop with even more crap. But to start with, we're gonna unbox it, see what's in here, get it put together. Once I've got it all fucking set up out here, then I'll get the instructions for one thing so I can read them. I'm actually going to read the instructions on this because this is a little more complicated than, you know, putting together a table saw or something. Okay, I read the instructions on that too. Actually, I read the instructions on just about anything, but grabbing the instructions and throwing them aside is a lot funnier. At least it is to me. I laugh, so that's the important thing. Once we get it together, then we'll fucking probably go in the house and figure out what programs we need on the computer to get models put into the fucking USB stick to come out here and start a print, and then we'll figure that shit out. Let's get out of the box. I gotta hurry up and make this segment of the video. I got fucking company showing up. I don't like recording videos when there's people here, because they like stare at you when you're fucking recording. They're like, entertain me, fool. Like, you watch my videos. You know I'm not entertaining or instructional or educational or... Let's see what's gonna be. Let's see. Maybe we just stand this guy up. Got a box, foam. Okay. Yeah. It's very well packaged. And this box came in another box that was overpacked. Not overpacked, but there was overpacking. You know, where there was more stuff in there to pack over top of the inside stuff. Overpack. Ooh, a hat. Not recommended for children. Okay, that's getting hard to breathe. So this just, oh, okay, that just slides up over there. Aha. That plastic's off of there. Let's see. Oh, okay. That comes off of there. Let's see if these two separate. Or... Here's the build plate. We'll just set that there. Like this. Let's see. Polarize. Please do not peel off the polarizer, otherwise it would cause serious damage to the LCD and void the warranty. So what is it you're supposed to do? I guess I should probably find the instructional booklet. But if you look inside of there, it's got this warning thing. I imagine this is your resin vat. So I'm sure I gotta take this off of here, and there's things that you're supposed to peel off. Oh, okay, I see. Dunk, dunk, dunk. Let's see, it's got, please peel off this film before printing. So this film comes off. That one, that comes off. There is another film underneath of it that's held on by like black, looks like black tape. And then there is another one right here. That comes off of your, we got the build plate here with freaking film on it. There's no logos on here, so we're just gonna set that down here. Keep dust from getting in there. Now I was gonna originally build a cabinet that was gonna go over here underneath where my freaking Snap-on X-Max RC truck is. Couldn't figure out how I wanted to vent it, and it's like, I have a limited amount of freaking space in this already fucking crowded shop, and it gets crowded, more and more crowded every day because I keep buying shit. But I built the spray booth over there, and it's pretty fucking big. I've got a good section of freaking bench that is away from where I'll do most of the spraying. I can just put a cover over top of this. I can do all of my freaking 3D printing in there. It's vented to the outside already. I don't lose any more fucking shop floor space. So fucking perfect. It's actually enough I can probably get 2 printers in there running. Because my plan, once I figure this shit out, is I want to print a 3D life-size T-800 endoskeleton from fucking the original Terminator movie to go in the living room. Because, yeah, that would be so fucking badass. All right, what's in the box? Gloves. The all-important gloves. We've got a whole bunch of tools and screws. Power supply. The other end of the power supply. A putty knife. You got to have this because your prints will be stuck to your build plate. So you got to get them off. So you're going to have a putty knife for that. This is a scraper for cleaning excess resin out of your, oh, that fucking filament, FEP sheet. Yeah, that's what it is, that fucking on the reservoir is an FEP sheet. This is for when you got to drain it out. You can scrape all the resin off of it and get it fucking cleaned out. The USB stick that you'll use to plug in Right down here, this is where you'll take your files off the computer, bring them out here, plug it in, start your prints. We got paint filters, so you get any clumps or anything in there. You can filter it out before you pour it back into your reservoirs. Ugh, the mask. Yeah, I won't fucking wear these. I don't have anything against wearing a mask because, you know, it's an important fucking health safety fucking thing out in the world. But I have a better mask. I've got an actual fucking respirator. This is what I really wanted for this printer. This particular freaking item is going to allow me to run this printer over in my spray booth without having the exhaust fan running at the same time. The only time I'll have to have the exhaust fan is when I have this unit open and I'm messing with the actual resin itself, pouring it in, pulling the models out, cleaning, whatever. This is an activated charcoal filter that's USB powered that plugs into the back side of the printer. There is a little port right there that this guy plugs into, and that's got activated charcoal in there. It will pull all the resin film fumes out and keep that area from stinking until I have to take the cover back off. So we got that, we got the filters, we got the masks. Let's see, what is this? Instructions. Those are the instructions. We're going to need them. This is a basic leveling setup card. We're going to need that. And there's one more thing in here. Oh yeah. Little freaking side nippers for removing the supports and shit off of your models. That's what's in the box. I need this for right now because I'm going to take that to the house. Everything else is going to go back in the box for now. We're going to go into the house and figure out the software that we need to download, get it freaking installed on my computer. We're going to find some print files. What I'm looking for are what do you call calibration files, so I can calibrate all of the exposure layers. When it's like your first exposure, the light has to expose longer than all your subsequent layers, because your first exposure is what's going to stick it to the build plate. If you don't expose long enough, it might not stick. If you expose it too long, it's gonna fucking not come off. If you have the wrong exposure settings for all the other layers, your fucking detail will come out muddled and nasty. So, you know, this is something unlike pretty much all of my other videos. I'm gonna put some time into this and try and do this right, because I have some fucking model ideas that I want to print out and just annoy the shit out of the wife, so, you know, I can have this crazy shit fucking living room. You know, I have a cow and a llama in my dining room right now because they're babies and they're being bottle fed and they're not doing, well, they're doing actually pretty well now, but they weren't when they were born. One of them was actually the cow was dead. It was so cold that there was almost no heartbeat, and it was 3 hours of wrapping it in a heat blanket with 2 space heaters blowing on it, and finally it came back to life. But right now it's at the vet getting a hernia repaired on it. But they're in the living room. I get to have a T800 endoskeleton model in the dining room too. All right, that's what's in the box. Next, we're going to the computer. So I'm going to shut the camera off right now. Okay, so I successfully got my calibration file freaking downloaded and installed onto this. I also found another file that I'm going to print. It's going to be a freaking xenomorph, an alien from the movie Aliens. We're going to start with the freaking calibration file. I haven't gone back and rewatched what I did last night on the computer. I don't know how well that freaking turned out, because I was fucked up. I was feeling no pain and enjoying the shit out of myself. First thing we got to do before we can actually print this thing is we have to level the print bed to the LCD screen. After that, then we're going to take this over to its permanent home in my spray booth. Then we got to level the entire unit because my shop is not fucking level. So putting it on the bench, it's probably going to be out of fucking whack. Once we get her level, then we can start printing. So to level your print bed, you got to remove your reservoir, or not print bed, your build. Well, ain't that the fucking shit? First fucking try and nothing works. I guess I gotta go back in the house, figure this shit out. I don't know what's going on. All right, so I think it's going now. No, fuck, I just lost it. I think the memory stick that came with this thing isn't any good. I can't get it to fucking do anything. It reads and then it stops reading. So hopefully it's the memory stick and not the. I'm trying to. All right. So I got some prints finally. I got the printer working. Now this has been a relatively pain in the ass freaking struggle to get it going. Now, when I was trying to print it and I kept getting that fucking error code, it was what, M400 error code. Found out I wasn't using the slicer program right, the Chitu box. Put the model in there and sliced it and saved it and put it on the freaking thumb drive and brought it out here, and it wouldn't recognize the file. The reason why, because every single printer out there, and there's tons of fucking printers out there, have a different firmware that operates them. And I had my Chitu box set at default printer, whatever the fuck that is. Honestly, I think the program should be made to where it won't let you do anything until you select a printer. That might have helped me a lot. You know, it would have been the necessary kick in the ass to make me realize that I wasn't doing it right if it wouldn't have let me do anything until I selected the printer that I was using. But I found the freaking area in there where you got to click on settings, which is on the right hand side right above fucking slice. And then on the top left hand it says add printer. Find the printer that you're using. I've got the Elegoo Saturn S. There's two different versions, at least two different versions. I know there's two different versions of the Saturn. You got the Saturn and Saturn S. Selected that. Now I've got my profile set. So now it's actually going to create a file specifically for the Saturn S. But while I was dicking with that, because my prints weren't working, I was afraid the freaking printer was bad or the thumb drive was bad. The printer came with a file to allow you to print something like immediately. And it comes with, it's the Rook file. It's 2 chess pieces. I went ahead and freaking clicked on them and the printer started printing, started working just fine. So here's what these guys look like. I guess they're identical. Let's see here, get this thing to. Like, it fucking prints stupid crisp. It's fucking pretty amazing. I dig it. I was so happy with it. I was like, all right, so now I know the printer isn't fucked up. I'm fucked up. And I was pretty fucked up when I was trying to figure out the program, which probably wasn't the best idea in the world, but no, it was. I eventually figured it out. Once I figured out Chitu box and knew I was doing something wrong, okay, now I have recognizable files. So I come out, I've got these on the build plate. Now, this is where I realized, actually, this isn't where I realized, this is where it started to become evident that I did something wrong on initial setup. The initial setup says level your build plate with the leveling paper. Now, I've watched a lot of different fucking videos of people 3D printing and shit, and it's like, it always looked like they put a piece of like just standard drawing paper or printer paper in there and they level the freaking build plate with that. That ain't it. Fuck, I gotta get, hold on. You got the toolkit that comes with it. When you level that build plate, it says insert your leveling paper. You're supposed to hit home, and then you're supposed to hit set Z0 axis. What they mean by leveling paper is this thing here that says fucking leveling paper on there. It's cardboard. It's about the thickness of like a cereal box type of cardboard. Probably 4 times thicker than your standard piece of printer paper. At least 3 times thicker. So there was a fuck up. Because I leveled it with a much thinner piece of paper, the build plate was going down a lot lower. And when these guys printed, they were I'm actually surprised that they worked, but I had to use a hammer and chisel to get them off the build plate. Using the supplied putty knife, couldn't fucking do it. I had to get in there with a hammer and chisel and knock them loose. Now when I did that, the arm that connects it to the printer, connect the build plate to the printer, it moved. So now it's out of whack. I've got to fucking re-level it. It's like, why should I get the instructions out? I did it once. I know how to fucking do this. I grabbed a piece of paper. I took the tank off, set the tank with all the resin over here. I grabbed a piece of fucking paper like I used before, set it on there. I hit home. It lowered down. It stopped. I tightened up my freaking screws. Okay, now I'm leveled, right? What I didn't do is when I hit home, after it freaking goes all the way down, then you're supposed to hit set Z0 axis. I did not do that. I just left it at home, tightened up everything. So I got files that the printer will freaking recognize. I came out here and I started with this Soraya Tech calibration program. You print it and it sees, and it just gives you all kinds of different fancy fucking details. I'll show you that here in a second. Started that print and the build plate freaking lowered down into the resin, and then it made this fucking god-awful buzzing sound. It's like, what the fuck is that? And it buzzed for, I don't know, about 30 seconds. And I think that's your initial, yeah, it was 30 seconds because that's your initial freaking exposure time. And then the print head lifts up and it stopped buzzing. What it was doing was trying to shove itself through the fucking LCD screen. And what it ended up doing, instead of adhering to the build plate, it adhered to the FEP sheet, that clear sheet that's on the bottom of the fucking tank. Once it adhered there and not the build plate, light ain't gonna come through. So it's just like meh, and it's fucking raising up and down. 2 hours later, I've got a blank. I had a build plate that had some external freaking supports on there, which this thing didn't need to be supported, but I added supports for whatever stupid reason. It's like, went back through and I looked at my file and it's like, oh, I know what I did. I added supports, but I didn't hit select all. So I only freaking printed supports. I figured anyways. And that is apparently a thing. Tried it again. Now it printed nothing. It's like, well, maybe this file's fucking corrupt. So I'll try a different file. Printed a different file. Fucking nothing. And it's like, okay, now I better get out the instructions. I better start some reading. It's like, that's where I discovered that you've got actual leveling paper that's not printer paper. Drain the freaking vat. After draining the vat, it's like, yeah, sure as shit, here is a fucking piece of resin that is just solidified to the bottom of the FEP sheet. I had to scrape it out of there, being real careful not to destroy that freaking sheet. Clean the tank, and that made a huge fucking mess. That was a pain in the, I didn't have the tools to properly drain the tank. I tried to just drain it back into the freaking bottles, and I had resin going everywhere. But I got it all cleaned up, put it back together. This time I leveled it fucking properly, and I started a print again in my Soraya Tech. Now, this time I adjusted the initial exposure setting. I dropped 5 seconds off of it because those are so hard to freaking remove. I thought maybe that was an aspect of it, not just because I'm an idiot and fucking leveled it wrong. I think that might have contributed to a small portion of this. There is just a little bit of fuck up print on it. Let's see here. Come on. Yeah, if you get my goddamn fat finger out of the way, you can see on the back side of that cube where the supports didn't print quite right, and it's barely noticeable, and you probably can't see it on camera, but inside the lattice work of that cube, the very bottom of it where them supports are, didn't quite print properly. But everything else on here, until I fucking watch this video, won't see how well it shows up on camera, but the detail, it fucking printed goddamn great. So my next print project that I had, I don't have it out here, it's in the fucking house, and I didn't want to go back up and grab it. I printed an alien, a xenomorph from the movie Aliens, and it's just basically the torso with a little bit of the legs, and it looks like it's like coming up out of your desk. Pretty cool model. Now I hit, you have to support the models, and it's these fucking little things that come up all over. Yeah, well, these things that are holding up the cube. You've got to support it. Now Chi2Box has an auto support feature. You just hit it and it fucking puts support in, and it's like awesome, you know, done, save the file, go print. The thing is, apparently it does a fucking shit job. I don't know why you would add this feature in and not have it do a good job, but it's in there and it does not do a good job. Now 98% of the model printed perfect, but there was on the back side of the head of a freaking xenomorph, it fucking, you know, kind of sticks way out. It had almost no support via the auto support feature, and so the back side of the head didn't print. The rest of the model printed fucking perfect. So then I went and tried another model. That one is printing again because my first attempt failed, because what I did with that freaking file is I added all the supports myself, and then when I exported, I did not hit select all. And you'll see it in Chi2Box if you use it. All the supports are in gray. The model is in blue. Now, I might be just talking out my ass because my mouth knows better, because I don't know anything about this, but it seems I've had it happen twice now. I didn't hit select all, because as soon as you hit select all, the entire model, everything, the model and the supports all go gray, and then you save it and it prints everything. If you don't hit select all, it seems to only want to print the supports. They're the only thing that's gray on the screen. So I've done this twice where I've had a bunch of supports come out of the fucking resin and no model attached to them. So I think that's the issue. Hopefully that's the issue. But I've got it running. It's fucking cool. I mean, I was up fucking well before the sun was up out here to freaking get a model off of the printer and clean it and get another print started, and then I went back to bed and watched TV, and then I was back out here to fucking get it out of my curing station. Resin 3D printing is pretty fucking cool, but it's also extremely complicated. It's gonna be a long learning experience. What I wanna do is print a T800 endoskeleton, life size. I don't know if that's necessarily possible on this printer or any other. I'm sure you can do it on any resin printer. You got to figure out how to freaking cut the models down into size, and it would probably cost me about $5,000 worth of resin to do it. But it's something that I want. I want a fucking T800 goddamn endoskeleton. I might have to just go to a Sideshow. It's a company that they have one that you can buy, and it's only $7,000, and I could buy a car for that. But you got to have a T800 endoskeleton in your fucking living room. Anyways, all right, so now I've got a 3D printer, so I can start printing all kinds of cool shit. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, notifications, all that other fucking bullshit. I'll see you guys next time.